It's Planet Earth for kids. Born in China is the latest from the Disney nature documentary series. You might remember a couple years ago they had a fun little piece on bears, and this one is even better. I really enjoyed the bears documentary. Born in China steps things up even more. There are more animals, more locations, and just flat out some incredible footage. There are 3 main animal characters and species that this documentary follows, and it follows them through about a year and a couple of months, starting in the spring of the year, going through summer, autumn, winter, in that order, and then back to spring again. The first species featured are snow leopards, and they're up in these beautiful Rocky Mountains, not the Rocky Mountains like in Colorado, Utah, that kind of thing, Rocky Mountains in China, because it's born in China. It's not Rocky Mountain High, it's not John Denver. So there's a snow leopard mother who has 2 cubs, and her story goes along as she's trying to raise the cubs, trying to do some hunting to try to provide them with food, and trying to fend off competitors and invaders and all kinds of fun stuff. The second storyline follows, if I can get this right, golden snub-nosed monkeys, which are basically kind of these orange long-haired monkeys that spend most of their time up in trees. And they're really gorgeous to look at, just really cool looking, and very animated and fun. And this actually focuses in on, well, there's kind of a tribe, but they focus in specifically on one family. And of all the animals featured, it seems like these monkeys are the only ones who are living as a nuclear family. There's a mom and a dad, there's a son who's kind of the focus of the story, and then there's a new baby daughter that is kind of the object of the son's jealousy, and that kind of drives the little storyline that the Disney people attach to their segment of the documentary. The third storyline follows a mother panda and her young son who is really anxious to climb trees, but mom is not anxious for son to climb trees. Apparently, when a panda climbs a tree, that's the signal that says, I no longer need my parents, I can be independent because I can climb trees and get away from danger. In addition, the documentary also spends some time with a particular Chinese brand of antelope that look really cool and have just awesome horns, and there's some footage where just after these things are born, they can run, well, they can walk within 30 minutes, and they're running, maybe 45 minutes after that, but it's really incredible stuff. So Born in China has snow leopards and orange monkeys and antelopes with really long horns, and it has panda bears. So what is your favorite Chinese animal? Or maybe we'll make it a little easier for you. What's your favorite Asian animal? Leave your comments in the comments. There are 2 things that really jumped out to me about this documentary. First of all, like I said before, it is beautiful. When I refer to it as being kind of Planet Earth for kids, I really mean that. This is just some gorgeous footage. You're either having these incredible sweeping time-lapse landscapes, or you have these incredibly intimate shots that, frankly, even speaking as a photographer, I can't think of how on earth they were able to pull this off. Thinking these are wild animals, they're out in their own natural environment, they probably don't like to have people around, and yet we get multiple angles and up close and personal footage on these animals, and it's really wonderful to look at. The second thing that stood out to me is also connected to this idea of it being Planet Earth for kids. And the reason I say that is not just because, well, John Krasinski from The Office is the narrator, and he, definitely kind of narrates in a way that's kid-friendly. What's also interesting about the documentary is that it doesn't shy away from kind of the brutal nature of living in the wild. In the Planet Earth series and in most BBC or other nature documentaries, there's always that inevitable scene where the predator tracks down the hunted prey and there's kind of a violent skirmish and somebody winds up dead. So the Disney nature documentary, being aimed at little kids, has to be a little more sensitive to that. And what impressed me was that they still managed to have the mortality and kind of the seriousness of it. And there's actually some parts in the documentary that are very sobering. They're not necessarily graphic, but kids are going to understand that these animals are dying and that they're competing with each other. And, every once in a while, the monkey can get carried away by some hawk. It's handled in a delicate way, and it's handled in a way that is very sensitive, but it's also very honest. And they actually kind of weave that into the theme of the documentary, which is that there's this cycle of life that goes on out in the wild. And in terms of kind of teaching kids about nature in a way that's unflinching, but still acceptable for young children, I really like the way that this was done. So even in spite of this content, though, Born in China still has a G rating, and honestly, I agree with it. I think it's not only is it acceptable for all audiences, I think it's a really great way to introduce younger audiences to this kind of harsh animal reality. So for a variety of reasons I've already mentioned, I really like this movie, and I gave this documentary 3.5 stars out of 4. And so Born in China is totally Movie Reviews by Josh certified for little kids and for grandmothers. So thanks for watching. This has been Movie Reviews by Josh. My name is Josh Terry. Be sure to subscribe on your way out and keep your notifications on so you can see our videos as soon as they're posted. Thanks as always to Rocky Gator, our proud sponsor, and we'll see you next time.